Bilateral good morning, a great way of working hip flexion in both hips, opening up the hamstrings while keeping the knees pretty much locked out. There's a couple of different progressions we're going to start with. Obviously the easiest first with our feet remaining right about hip width apart. We're going to lean forward as far as we can, pulling our hips back and our knees straight and our crown of our head out in front, trying to lengthen the spine at the same time as lengthen the hamstrings. So if you see me from about a 45-degree angle here, nice and tall, quads activated, crown going up at all times. I will send my hips back as I send my torso forward and the crown of my head forward, trying to elongate the spine as I go down. As I go down, keeping the quads nice and activated, I'm going to try to keep pulling my hips back and also pull them up to the ceiling as I let my head protrude forward as long as I can. Knees straight, quads on, elongating the torso. Progressing into number 2. This is going to take the bilateral movement and shift it over into a single leg position, but still using one leg as a little bit of an assist. So I will take one leg and gently step it back, but 90% of my weight, if not more, is on this front loaded leg. Keeping my hips square, and that's really important. I'm going to hinge forward, and as I hinge forward, note that the leg that's behind me is not straightening out nor bending anymore. The established bend that I have in the beginning remains the entire time. Load up in this position, pushing the head forward, hips back, knees straight, and then coming back up. There is some assist from this leg, only in that it's holding some of your weight, so that the leg that's doing the work doesn't have the full demand on it quite yet. As you are going down in this position, try to visualize and pull the hip up to the ceiling on both sides, not just the loaded leg. So as I go down on my right leg, I'm still trying to pull my left hip up to the ceiling so that the impact is such that I'm still working hip flexion on both sides, even though the load is predominantly on one leg. The importance of that really matters as we get to the third and final progression. Now I'm going to let this leg float off the ground. But rather than letting it go pendulum behind me as a counterbalance, I'm going to still work hip flexion on both sides by trying to lift the hip up to the ceiling on both sides, especially on the leg that's floating. So here now, I'm going to lean forward. On my left leg that's floating, I'm pulling it up to the ceiling, going down into this nice deep position, quad on, and coming back up. Seeing it from this leg here, lift my right leg up. I'm going to hike it up to the ceiling at all times. That compression in the floating leg is really important as I go forward over the load leg, elongating the skull forward, hip back, and then coming back up.